Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to be going over cell structure notes. These are the second part, so these should include everything that you need for these notes. So, first thing we're going to be talking about today is prokaryotic cells. These are going to be the most simplest guys that we talk about. Prokaryotes were the first cells that were on Earth. They're the most simplest. Basically, keep it simple, smarty. That's what they do. Prokaryotes are divided into two groups, two. Eubacteria and Archaeobacteria. We'll probably talk about those later in the year, next month or two when we get to ecology. So you need to know Eubacteria and Archaeobacteria are the two different groups with these guys. Now, prokaryotic cells do not have a nucleus. All the DNA is going to be mixed in with all the different organelles or small parts inside the cell. The DNA genetic information is in the middle of the cell and is now known as the nucleoid. Okay. The way I describe it is this is kind of like a closet. It's a small closet. Everything is crammed in there. Okay. There's no special organizers for different types of closed seasons or anything. Or if you want to think of leftovers on Thanksgiving, it's all thrown in one bag. There's no special Tupperware for the dark meat, the white meat, the different types of gravies you might have, the stuffing, the sweet potato pie. Nothing separated. It's all thrown in one bag. It's nice and simple, but kind of a little messy. Next, we have the eukaryotic cell. Eukaryotic cells are the most complex cells. All complex forms of life are eukaryotic. These life forms can be small, single-cell organisms, all the way up to really big. These are going to be multicellular organisms. Okay. The two big groups are going to be plants and animals. Those are the ones that you're most familiar with in life. So, parts of the eukaryotic cell. The eukaryotic cell is organized into two big regions, the nucleus and the cytoplasm. Each region has unique organelles or little organs which are specific to different cell functions. So, eukaryotic cell has the nucleus area and the cytoplasm area. So basically, the rest of the cell. So, parts of the cell. You will probably be having a test question that is pretty similar to this. So, that's a hint. The cell membrane. And this is where I like to start thinking of a peanut M&M. The outside of the cell is kind of like the skin, okay? It keeps everything in the cell from getting out, and it keeps the bad stuff from getting inside, okay? It acts as a barrier, kind of like that thin candy shell on the peanut M&M. So the cell membrane is very much like your skin. It helps keep the stuff in the cell and the stuff from leaving it, okay? The cytoplasm is the area kind of in between, or the chocolate of the cell. This is where many of the organelles are located. So if you want to think of like on you or me, it's kind of the area from inside, like on your chest, to where your heart, the stuff in between that. Okay? This is where many of the organelles are going to be located. It takes up most of the space in the cell. And then finally, there's the nucleus. This is the brain or the control center of the cell. It is located where it is typically in the middle or close to the center of the cell, and it's protected, and it keeps the DNA away from all the other stuff, nice and safe. It's like in its own little lockbox. Organelles. Eukaryotes have specialized parts known as organelles, or tiny organs. Okay, these are specialized parts inside the cell that perform important functions which allow the cell to continue living. So, whereas I said before, with the prokaryotic cell, everything was just mushed in together. It's nice and small. It gets the job done for the things that it needs to do. Eukaryotic cells are more complex. They like to have things separated, like a big walk-in closet. So we're going to have a bin for this, a bin for this, a bin for this. Or if you want to think of leftovers on Thanksgiving, we're going to have something for the dark meat turkey, the white meat turkey, mashed potatoes, the gravy, sweet potato pie. So, the nucleus. As I said, the nucleus is the control center. It is covered by a protective layer called the nuclear membrane. So if you just think of like the skin on the outside of the cell, the nuclear membrane protects the nucleus. Okay? This contains chromosomes and the nucleolus. Okay? And in the middle, right here in the middle of the cell, is going to be the DNA. So, two different types of cells we talked about, plant and animal. Animal cells can differ in size depending on what their function is. So, just with you and me, we have heart cells and we have skin cells. They're two different types of cells. You don't want your heart cells to fail or stop. They need to be very unique and specialized. Or your skin, you want to make sure it keeps stuff in and out. Plant cells typically are going to be rectangular, okay, or cube-like. So the way you can think of this is going to be like Lego bricks. We want to stack them on top of each other, okay. Plants will have what a hard cell wall, which helps keep their shape. So the way I like to think of this is, like when you go past like those stores and they have those blow up, and I'm like, whoa, whoa. Okay, so they have that nylon. It's like almost like the kite material. Okay, and it's inflated. It gives it a shape with the air inside. Okay, but instead of it being nylon, it's kind of hard outside, and that's the plant cell. Okay, the wall. It gives it some structure. Now inside, you're going to have what's called a vacuole. It's kind of like a water balloon. It's filled with water, and it pushes out, and it gives that plant cell structure. Okay, we're going to get to that in a second. The cytoplasm. So as I said, like the M&M, it is that chocolate part of the cell. It's everything in between the cell membrane and the nucleus. Okay, it's a fluid known as the cytosol, and also has a lot of the organelles, which are not located in the nucleus. The mitochondria. This is going to be the powerhouse of the cell. It breaks down fuel, glucose, or sugar, and turns it into a usable form known as ATP. We'll be talking about that pretty soon. And here is that vacuole. So vacuoles are storage area of the cells. They are most common in plants and animal cells, but they're very big with the plant cells. They contain water, food, and waste. Okay, in plants, this area I'm kind of drawing around is pretty much all a vacuole. Okay, and see how it's pushing out on that cell, kind of giving it shape and function. Okay, now when a plant starts to lose water, like if it gets hot out and it starts to wilt, what's happening is the amount of water in that vacuole is getting less and less, and it's causing the plant to start losing, not standing up, so it's getting droopy. Okay, now when the water comes back in form of rain, what happens to that plant? It gets back, stands up again. So that, I believe, is everything we're talking about today. Hope you have a good day.